Good morning, boys and girls. It's Mr. Page. We are talking about cycles in ecosystems, part one. This will be starting lesson 4.3. I hope you had a great weekend. The weather was great, and you got to experience a lot of your own ecosystem this weekend. Uh, the biotic components, those living things, and also the abiotic parts water, sunshine. So let's talk about some of the vocabulary that we've learned in prior lessons. Some of the things we've learned are the ecosystems. That would be the stable environment of all communities of biotic and abiotic components. That is, living things and non living things. Together, they make up the ecosystem. We've talked about communities. Those would be biotic components, biotic organisms, plants, animals, insects, bacteria, living things. We've talked about niche, the job that an organism does in the community. And then briefly, population density. That's how many of a particular organism is in a square mile or a square yard, square foot, a contained space. How many organisms are in that space? That's density. Limiting factors, floods, earthquakes, fires, human intervention, pollution, etc. And also, we've talked about ecological balance, ecological stability, ecological equilibrium, producers like plants, consumers like wolves, decomposers like termites, and fungi like mushrooms. We've talked about predators and prey. There's been some confusion there about prey. Prey would be animals that get eaten. Predators are the animals that do the eating. Coexistence, organisms being able to live together in harmony. Today we're going to talk about symbiosis. We're going to break it down a little bit more and review it. Based on the assignments and the answers, I see a little confusion there as well. Ecological disturbances, I think you all get that. Uh, this could be floods, drought, uh, earthquakes, anything that disturbs the ecosystem, fires, forest fires, etc. Biotic would be living things, and abiotic would be non living things. By the way, sunshine is not living. Water is not living. Those are abiotic. Biotic would be plants, bacteria, animals, etc. So, symbiosis, fully explained. There are five basic forms of symbiotic relationships. Because different species often live in the same ecosystem and they must share or compete for the same resources, they interact in a variety of ways known as symbiosis. These are the big five. Mutualism. The benefit is mutual, meaning that both organisms benefit. The next one is commensalism. It's a one sided relationship where only one organism benefits, but there's no harm to the other one. Parasitism. These are parasites. Organisms, they benefit, but the other, they harm. They even can cause them to die. Parasites benefit like a mosquito. It benefits by drawing blood out of the host, but the host doesn't benefit. It loses blood. It also might contract some disease like malaria, so it could even die. That's what parasites can do. Predation. These are the predators. One species survives by eating the other. And then finally, competition. both competing for the same resources, like squirrels competing to find the same number of acorns. They can't all have all the acorns. They're going to have to compete to survive. So, we're going to talk about cycles. This is getting into the next section, 4.3. There are 5 cycles. We're going to talk about 2 in this part 1 lesson. Uh, Matter, cycles in and out of the ecosystem. Matter, and you know what matter is, anything that has uh, takes up space and has mass is matter. Biochemical changes, biochemical cycles. That's a big word. Bio meaning living, geo, biogeochemical. So geo means having to do with the earth, dirt. Okay, biogeochemical cycle is the movement of a particular chemical through the biological and geological, or living and non living parts of an ecosystem. There are 5 of these cycles. We're going to talk about water, the water cycle, which you should have learned in 4th grade, and the oxygen cycle. The water cycle. The water cycle, as you can see from the diagram, involves precipitation. That would be in the form of rain or snow. That's uh, H2O dropping from the sky to the earth. Now, as you know, water is obvious. Snow is also a solid form of water. That's also precipitation, snow. Then it causes it to hit the earth, and it runs off from hills, mountains, hills, and it runs off into a collection. Now, a collection could be a stream, a river, even the ocean. The sun causes the water in the collection to warm up, causing evaporation, and then condensation forms clouds, and the cycle continues, which causes it to be a cycle. As you can see, it goes right around in a cycle. There are dominant gases in our atmosphere. Nitrogen makes up 78% of our atmosphere, the air that we breathe. Oxygen makes up 20.9, let's call it 21%. If we round up, it's 21% of the air that we breathe. And carbon dioxide is 1%, rounded, of the air that we breathe. The oxygen cycle. As you can see from the diagram, the oxygen cycle, there's oxygen 21% in the atmosphere. Animals and humans breathe it in. It starts the cell respiration process. And as you know, the waste of cell respiration would be carbon dioxide, water, and ATP. And then the plants use the carbon dioxide to perform photosynthesis along with the sunlight, and their waste product is oxygen. And there you see the circle again. It's a cycle. Very vital cycles in the ecosystem. That's it for today. I hope you took notes. Feel free. I would strongly recommend to watch this video again, take notes, stop it where you need to so that you can take notes and perform well on the quiz that follows. Feel free to watch it as many times as you need. Be sure to complete the assignments associated with this lesson. And remember, learn something new every day. Every day, learn something. Up next, Cycles in the Ecosystem Part 2.